Hello, everybody. We are back from our break, and I just wanted to say it's been absolutely incredible so far. We've had Christina de Souza this morning speaking about going from imposter to gifted, how being exactly who you are is the most effortless approach to making a difference. And then Danais spoke about activating your primal soul firepower and reclaiming your inner strength. Both two very, very powerful conversations as well as processes to really help us to move into really recognizing that we are all together in this incredible experience. What I'm going to do here now is talking about what is the dominant inner dragon. Um, Janice, are you okay with yeah? Okay. I'm actually putting Janice on the spot. She knows me the most out of everybody, and I'm asking her if she would just like to say a few words about me to introduce me before I go on. And this is entirely off the cuff, and it's likely not from my writing of who I am, although it's entirely up to what she does. So thank you, Janice. I'll go ahead, leave the floor up to you there.
All right, well, this is Sandra Pelley, and I've been with Sandra a number of years now. And yeah, the experience has been incredible following her and just the transformation in myself. Like as Sandra used to always say, I'd never be on screen. I was hidden and unseen. And now I love being seen, and that's all due to Sandra, working with me and seeing me. And that's what she does. She sees you and she brings out the best in you. And she's truly an incredible person, and I love her. And I love to be able to help her out any way I can to grow her business. And I'm behind her all the way, supporting her.
Aw, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Oh, you guys, this is very, very beautiful. All about woo, the world of oneness. And today I'm speaking about the dominant inner dragon archetype. And truly, when you think about who we are individually, there are so many different aspects to ourselves. And I really wanted to let you know that how I started was by understanding how mean I was being to myself. And that was a huge, huge part. And I think we all can really recognize that part of ourselves, how mean we are capable of being to ourselves. That was a beautiful journey that I did with learning how to start to care about myself, start to change what I was saying about myself to myself and about myself to other people. And all the little nuances that go along the way, like learning how to ask for help, accepting those compliments, uh, and really starting to foster the relationship that I had with my inner child, who I lovingly call my little you. My little you goes on all my mountain bike rides. My little you is very much about having, Lego cups to drink out of. I actually have a Lego set sitting on the floor here. I have Legos up here. I'm very much a Lego person. I really love indulging my Lego Lego obsession. I really like indulging my little you, is what I was attempting to say there. Apparently, my little you has a Lego obsession. uh, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so active on my mountain bike. It's one of the reasons why I'm out there in nature. I'm paying attention to nature. I'm watching the signs, is because my little you is like a dragonfly, like literally flitting all over the place, exploring and looking at whatever they want. Um, and do know that I would love for this to be extremely interactive. So I'm actually going to remove my spotlight and just keep it wide open with all of you guys here. Feel free to come on and ask me any questions along the way, raise a hand, and let's make this extremely, extremely interactive, okay? The inner child is the part of ourself that has been very much the protector. And in protecting, it has really hindered us in really interesting ways. I have discovered in about the last year and a half that we also have another very intimate part of ourselves, and that's the inner dragon. And that inner dragon is something that we can connect with extremely easily. And I'm going to do that with you guys here right now. I invite you to take a breath. I invite you to breathe as your inner child. I invite you to breathe as your inner dragon. Notice the difference. Notice the difference. Yeah. Write it in the comment how your regular breath felt, how your inner child breath felt, and how your inner dragon breath felt. The reason I brought it in so simply and easily is because you'll notice throughout all the conversations that have already happened today, as well as mine moving forward, that it is in the simple things that we do that we are drawing an awareness and a connection in very, very easily. I really brought it to your attention with the previous speaker when I said something along the lines of his relating to there are times when he does a big ceremony and there are times when he does little ceremony, right? And that's what it is. We start to pay attention to each of these bits and pieces. Love what you guys are writing. Yes. So the inner child was much softer than the other two. The regular breath was normal. The inner child was subtle and weaker. The dragon stronger and confident. I notice I feel my rib cage open in a really profound way when I do my inner dragon breath. A timid, short breath for the inner child, and the dragon was a deep depth, grounded and powerful. I love your awareness here. So you can already tell how much this inner dragon has already been a part of you all your life, because it's not like you suddenly decided today was the day you're going to connect with an inner dragon and breathe that deep breath. You have breathed deep breaths before. Who say that fast 10 times? Oh my Lord. I love what you guys are writing. Really, wow. Um, so knowing that the inner child is such a part of us, why can't the inner dragon be an intimate part of ourselves as well? Where the inner child, the little you, has been the protector, the inner dragon has been the action taker. So that deep breath that you noticed when you breathed the inner dragon breath are those moments when you are pausing, when you're connecting in, when you're preparing to do something, when you're taking action. You notice your breath is different. So that's that inner dragon energy. I also discovered in recognizing my breaths were different and the inner dragon energy coming online that there were archetypes to this. Okay, so just like we have all these incredible chakras, 7 main ones, I personally use 8 because I use the pineal chakra as well. We also have archetypes, inner dragon archetypes. And those archetypes, uh, that's what my offering is the quiz so that you can find your dominant inner dragon archetype. If you've been with me for a while, it's likely you have your inner dragon archetype already, and that's fine if you do the test again or the quiz again and discover more information. It's likely if your inner dragon archetype is different now than when you first did that, you have evolved to the point that another part of yourself is ready to be the more dominant one. Okay. The one uh, that is a part of you during your journey through life to get you to this point is the dominant or inner dragon archetype. And I'm going to stop saying that whole phrase because it's a tongue twister, okay? So I'm just going to say the dominant one instead. That dominant one, it's been a really profound journey of discovery. I was working with a very intimate group, my inner sanctum, diving more deeply into figuring out what the inner dragon archetype was all about. And then as I started to unfold and recognize a lot of these pieces, I also recognized that there's even more to it. And so I started to go out into the world and explore with other people. And I developed this small exercise that, how do I want to phrase this? Take a breath. In February of this year, I did what's called a boot camp and discovered what the how there is a story in us that is literally every single chakra and every single archetype. So we truly have 49 stories within each and every one of us, that inner dragon archetype, the dominant one, and the other pieces have led us to be who we are today. What that dominant inner dragon archetype has also led us to through is the recognizing the lessons or who we've been along the way. So for myself, when I recognized that my inner child was in a really bad spot, that I was calling myself names, that was where my dominant inner dragon archetype for me was the healer, had to start to figure out ways to help me move forward. For me, my inner dragon, my dominant one, was in the sacral chakra. So it was finding creative ways to help my inner child as well. There's also a leading archetype who helps you to move forward in your life as well. So I know that some of you have been tapping into your dragon energy and learning more about it. Do you have any questions for me about this? Because I think that I can expound and um, create channels for more information to come through. However, if you guys have questions, the information is going to be a lot more valid. So the floor is open if you have a question. I'm calling upon you.
Well, the question that's running through my mind right now is you said we have 49 stories within us, and I'm trying to figure out where does the number 49 come from?
I love it. Thank you. Good point. So we have 7 chakras, and there are actually 7 archetypes. So every archetype has a story in every single chakra. And now the archetypes, when you do the quiz, Janice, I'm going to actually ask you to go grab that link and put it into the chat there, and that might help those who haven't done it before. Thank you. I appreciate that. So there's the guardian, the healer, the sage, the seeker, the visionary, and the warrior, I believe, are oh, and there's one more. You will see them in a moment. Oh my gosh. Anyway, as you go through each of the inner dragon archetypes, no, it's not a rebel. Gosh, thank you. You think you're prepared, right? Oh, I know how to find them. I'll go to my I actually have all the archetypes on the inner blueprint, sandrapelley.com. Inner blueprint is where they all are. So I will tell you what they all are. The creator is the first one. That was the one, the letter C, creator. So I know one of you here, your how do I want to word this? I feel like I'm very stumped and I'm messing up here. And I appreciate you guys holding space for me. As you can tell, this topic is still very, very new to me. Being only a year and a half, almost 2 years into discovering inner dragon archetypes to begin with, and then recognizing that there's a dominant one and a leading one. It's been a really interesting journey, and really understanding what the um, uh, what the inner dragon archetype means for humanity has been one of the very powerful things for myself, because it is a more simple way to understand yourself more thoroughly. And I think that is the best place to start. So if you haven't done the quiz, take a moment to go do the quiz as I'm speaking right now, and I'll speak a little bit more about myself and others. So for one member of my community, it was about starting to discover why they were so defensive all the time about certain things. And when they learned that it was because of how they felt, then it was easier to move out of that defending mode and into moving forward. So that warrior learned the pathway to move them forward in a more profound way. And by pathway, I mean the small things that come up. So Christina is the creator dragon in the sacral chakra with the orange dragonfly. And that creator dragonfly, like she has gone through a whole gambit of her life, looking at different things, discovering different things, and really taking in all the information as she's gone along. And it would be actually really quite fascinating now to learn what her leading archetype is, because that takes you in a very specific direction. This creator dragonfly or dragon is the one that has really moved her very specifically on the path that she's been in. So she's gone from a financial world into the world of looking at things in different ways and creating the World Mastermind Cafe. And all of those bits and pieces have been to find a place for herself in the world, is what it really comes down to, right? So just like for myself, the healer, I had to heal my inner child so that the visionary in me could come out in the way that it is now. For me, my leading archetype is the visionary. In enrolling for this, you will have access to that leading archetype through a series of emails, okay? If you're doing the quiz, feel free to write it in there too, and we can expand on that. So let me tell you a little bit about those 7 stories in the 7 chakras, the 49 stories. It was really interesting when I chose to do the boot camp back in February. I went into it thinking to myself that there's like, I really have no idea what I'm going to do in this, and I'm going to open myself up to whatever comes through. So you have witnessed that happen in the previous conversations that we've had today, when somebody's stepping into their natural gift, and when they're also opening up to whatever is out there that wants to come through for the highest good, for the most benevolent reasons, and the greatest good of all. And when I sat down with that and started to ask the questions about this, it was really fascinating to see how the creator archetype grounded in what was that part in the root, what was that story in the root that I was holding on to that was helped me to move forward. And I am unable to tell you what those stories are sitting here right now. There is a way to access that, and if you are you will get that in 2 or 3 days here. And same with every single chakra that the creator goes into. The harmonious green dragon. So you're the heart chakra. You're the heart chakra. Yes. Any further questions? I could, yeah. the I can see you guys all breathing with me, and I appreciate it. This is what happens when you give yourself over to what wants to come through, and then the human in you gets in the way. This is literally what happens, okay? Yeah. Oh, you know what? Are you okay, so the seeker dragon in the throat chakra, the blue dragonfly on the latest quiz, I'm now the warrior sacral chakra. So her leading one is the warrior in the sacral chakra, and she was the seeker in the throat chakra. And Janice uh, was finding her way through familial relationships that had really affected her, and was learning to speak her truth. And that's why that seeker dragon, the inner dragon, was so critical in being a part of her life, right from the moment that she started as a young child to shut down to when she started to really stand up for herself in different ways. Like she was so accurate in that when she first came into my world, Honestly, she was one of the people like some of you are here today, and some of you may just be busy doing things. However, others of you here may be at that space where you feel uncomfortable showing yourself in public. And that's where Janice used to be. She would be behind her name on a black screen. And in her finding her way through and looking for answers, seeking those answers and seeking the truth and being able to speak that truth to herself, she's now able to come on camera all the time. And she actually said some words about myself as well, which was a big step for her. And I just really wanted to point out to you, Janice, too. I want to give you some kudos in public here. Is that something that I've been witnessing in Janice here lately is the ability to start to actually lead the calls in different ways. The other day, I dropped off a Zoom. My Zoom crashed on me, I think, 4 or 5 times. And when I went back and I was watching the replay, Janice naturally stepped into a leadership role, something that she would never have done before without the assistance of this seeker dragon pulling her forward and into that space. So I'm so proud of you, Janice, for how far you've come, really. And she may have given me the kudos, but ultimately, you know that when you are the one doing the work, you are the one being recognized, right? Each and every one of you. Love that. Yeah. So it's so interesting because I'm really seeing some interesting answers there, and I think that there's two quizzes going there, so I'm not sure what's happening. Because the Radiant Orange Dragon, it seems to me that's an older quiz that I had on there, but that's all right. Yeah. So if you were to ask your inner dragon a question, what would be the question that you would ask your inner dragon? Throw a question in the chat for me or raise your hand. Take a breath. Breathe as your inner dragon. And I'm actually going to ask you to invite your little yous to ask a question of your inner dragon. Love it. I'm loving the questions. Some people have written them in there already. I'll just give you guys another second or two, moment or two here. I love that. So if you feel comfortable, yeah. You know what, Janice, mine is very similar to yours. Janice wrote, "Can I go flying with you?" Mine wrote, "Where can we play next?" That's what mine asked. Where can we play next? So I love the energy of that. So I'm going to start with Christina. She's like, "What can I let go of?" And her incredible inner dragon archetype is the creator and in the sacral chakra. And so it's um, energetically, what I'm feeling with that is the limiting belief. There's some limiting belief energetically in the energy of that. That first of all, that there may be something that I need to let go of that's hindering me in the direction that I want to go. And if you were to go into you, what emotion would come up? What emotion is coming up when you ask the question, what do I need to let go of? What emotion is coming up, Christina?
End up like exhaustion, like tired.
Mm. So automatically the first question that or answer I have come up is, what am I doing too much of, or where am I expending my energy? And it's so beautiful because here's a prime example, and you're going to notice that we're going to interweave all the speakers kind of together as we're doing this. In the sacred gifts, my takeaway when Christina spoke was that I'm energized when I'm in my gift. So if she's exhausted, where is she overdoing it? And I hyphen it in the overdoing it in the skilled area, or where am I doing something that maybe somebody else can do? And I know as a business owner, that's so twofold. Like that's like that energy of knowing somebody else can do something, but maybe I have to pay them to do it, right? Versus that exchange. So starting to ask then, okay, if I'm exhausted, and it's likely possibly in the talented and skills, then I would love, because it's the creator, I would love for information to come through about who can come in to help me and how can they help me in a different way. Okay? And then just be open to letting whatever that is come through. So it's just like when I was walking around this morning, I'm a visionary. I'm very much about how am I going to present things and move them forward and not shove them down people's throat, right? As a business owner. And so as I'm walking around this morning, it came to me like this light bulb moment that, this hashtag takeaways. The hashtag takeaway is a beautiful introduction that I am doing something around moons for the next year. That was that visionary coming in very powerfully because I'd created this beautiful thing with that energy. So how does that feel, Christina?
It feels great. What came to mind when you were saying activity was actually the framing of what I believe is holding the container that has that activity happening in the first place. So restructuring the rules to which I'm playing by to allow me to put more down energetically the things that are tiring and exhausting, whatnot. So for me, it's how do I reframe the view so that it is no longer tiring and exhausting, right? So reframing it for that higher energy.
Yeah, yeah. Man, you and I can go off on a whole tangent with that. Very much so. I'm going to see what else other people. Thank you for playing along. Alan wrote, "What is it like to be a magical being?" Wow. Okay, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So let's close our eyes. And the first thing that I want you to know in your heart, notice I used heart, know in your heart that you are a powerful being to begin with, okay? Take that inner dragon breath. And ask if it's okay, or ask for guidance in how to feel like the inner dragon. So, for instance, the first thing that I would love for you to do is to ask, what color is my inner dragon? Yes, you may have seen it or heard it in the quiz, but ask for a deliverance of what that color is for you in this space, in this moment. So, what is the color of that inner dragon? And now allow yourself to be that color in this space. And in being that color, how is it showing up? Like, take a moment to witness your limbs. Is it scaly? Is it feathery? Is it soft? Is it hard? Feel your arm. Does your inner dragon swim or fly or slither? Or walk, I guess. you're being invited to embrace the feeling of being able to do that as well. Feel yourself transforming, becoming the inner dragon. Witness it showing you how to move in its element. And then feel the magic of being one with it. However that shows up. Recognize where it is. Give thanks. Alan, how was that?
One of the images that came to me during that is expressing as the dragon. There's that tingly, effervescent enthusiasm that just fills the entire being. And the perspective of, I love being me.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah. The question that you pose of what is it like to be a magical being? I think, in fact, I know you very powerfully just stepped into the energy of being that sovereign being, being that powerful being, being that light being, being that magical being that you innately are. What a beautiful gift. Thank you for providing that for all of us.
Very welcome.
Does anybody else like to share about what they experienced there? Go ahead, Madeline.
I just wrote, I'm a brilliant orange dragon, fiery scales reflecting the sun, dancing in the air, flying free.
Wow. Yeah, take a moment to feel that, eh?
And I wanted to say joyously free.
Yeah.
And I loved the picture of it because it just felt like, yes.
I love that. Again, I just want to say kudos to and thank you to Alan because what you've just experienced and been gifted is truly a piece of yourself. It is you. It's not even a piece of yourself. It is you. Step into the energy of that being, right? Like for myself, my inner dragon is very much a water dragon. And so when I connect with it, I really feel it coming up from the soles of my feet, actually comes up through my chakras into my chest area. But it's very, very deeply connected with me, very, very powerfully. Yeah. Yeah. So, can I go flying with you? Did you go flying, Janice?
Of course, yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it. Mine was sort of a red fire dragon, but it was interesting because blue came in originally, and then I saw red and then took on red, and I kept struggling with myself. No, I want blue, I want blue. But I gave over to the red because it's powerful and the power. But then after a while, then it did change to a bit of blue, and then I went into a water dragon, so it was able to morph for me.
I love that. And I really want everybody to pay attention to what she just said there. There was resistance, and then she let go of the resistance and went with the flow. And what happened is, in that letting go of the resistance, she became this being who decided, I don't need to be in control of everything. And everything occurred naturally, and the blue came in. And if you were given the space and the time, I imagine a lot more blue would have come in as well. Yeah, very powerful. Thank you. Emily wrote, where and how do we grow confidence to make changes? I love that. Thank you, Emily. So let's bear with me. I'm just going to see what wants to come in first. Hmm. It's so interesting because I'm with you, Emily. I'm very much feeling like at first it was a garden, but I'm also very much feeling like a house and a yard. I there and energetically there. So there's many different points in our life that things happen. There are points in our life where we have things occur that are like, oh, I never want to go visit that again. I dislike that feeling. I'm not going to do that anymore. Da, 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 da. And then there's other places where the exact opposite happens, where it's like, holy cow, like I have this very strong visual in my head of a mountain bike ride that I had been on in Salmon Arm, British Columbia. And during that ride, my husband's mountain bike, the chain broke, and he actually had to walk out, and I got to ride my bicycle out. And I was actually doing really, really well. And I remember getting to the top of this little rise and feeling like I was literally on top of the world. Like that felt so powerful and so good. And so yeah, I beat my husband here as well. Like that part of it. Like everything about that moment was just absolutely magical, right? And that is how I start to change and grow and become who I want to be. It's by living in those moments where something really magnificent happened. Because those are the moments that the energy of that really pulls you and has you grow and become even more. And you're going to learn a lot more about how to do this with Alan later on because he's all about manifesting. I believe that's I believe that's tomorrow. Yeah. So there's something energetically about a I don't know if it's a garden or if it's a flower garden or what it is. And this house, what does that mean for you, Emily? Are you able to come on, unmute yourself, or would you like to write? Oh, you are. Okay, beautiful.
Yes, I
Hi.
think I'm on. Hello. Um, a garden. I would, my first thought is, garden, there's many different flowers, so like many different opportunities that look a certain way, have different colors. Um, yeah, that's what I think of when you mention a garden.
Okay. And now, are there any gardens that you remember growing up, or one that has come up recently? Or it doesn't even have to be garden. What I'm seeing is an expansiveness of flowers or something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a garden. It could be somewhere that you've been. Like for me, going to Cuba, and there's a sandy part that we always sit on the beach in this very specific resort, and that is like my honing in. Like I can visualize that and be there, right? So
Mm.
that's what I'm leaning towards helping you with here. So it's something that you've already experienced.
Mm. I feel like maybe I'm not connecting with gardens in the physical world, but like sometimes in meditation, kind of the place where I might go to meet like the higher self. There's like a garden area that's usually kind of where I go, so it could definitely be connected to that.
I love that. And earlier today, I believe in the chat, you wrote something along the lines of I think instead of
Mm,
I am.
yes.
Right there is a power point to step into. Recognize where you're just claiming that I think it could be this versus the I am. I know for myself, one of the big things that I removed from my vocabulary is the word try.
Right.
Literally removed it because if you're trying something, your brain has been tricked into thinking a specific way instead of I am, or I'm doing, or I feel. Okay.
Yes. And some might even argue that try is not even an actual thing. You either do something or you don't do it. There's not even
Exactly.
like an actual try.
Thank you, Yoda.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, so there's something about that garden that you're doing with that higher self energy that allow that to trickle in to, like, it's like when I'm sitting here, I can literally see and feel the energy of this crystalline castle outside my window. And I thought it was only ever just here when I sat in this space, that it was out by this pine tree right here. And reality, it's actually everywhere that I go. So
Mm.
that garden, or that energy of that garden with that higher self, is very much a part of you everywhere you go. Stand in the power of that for yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
and this, like, I know you're fairly new into my world. Um, one of the things that I will suggest is, like, literally changing your life by telling yourself you love yourself, because
Okay.
our little yous are screaming for attention that is, um, like, they don't even realize they're screaming. Like, if you were to close your eyes and imagine your little you right now, everybody do this. What is your little you showing up like, Emily?
Um, she's showing up somewhere like around when I'm maybe 7 years old or something like that.
Okay. What's her emotions? What's her feeling?
Feels a bit isolated, like sitting down, hugging the knees type of
Oh, yes, that's yeah, yeah.
sitting in nature.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's maybe either just contemplating or sad or just kind of, yeah, just enjoying the moment, maybe lost in thought.
Okay. So I heard you do something there, and I
Hmm.
think this is a really important key. Okay. At first, you almost acknowledged that she was feeling a certain way, and then you kind of glanced over it and gave her a better feeling.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Okay. Acknowledge that they're feeling that way, that your little you's feeling that way. That is probably the most powerful thing you can do for yourself, is to acknowledge that you feel a certain way. Okay.
Okay.
And invite your little you, little self, inner child, whatever you want to call her, into that garden with your higher self in you. And then let them be as you would be if you allowed yourself to be everything you wanted to be in there. Meaning that if you wanted to run through the flowers, that it wasn't a mother going, "Oh, quit it. You're going to stomp and break the flowers," right? Like, right? Like let them run. The flowers will grow again, right?
Right. Exactly. Have the freedom to just be
Yeah.
and yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
starting very small with that. Now bringing in the inner dragon energy. So closing your eyes for a minute. How do you, bear with me here as I see how this wants to come through.
Hmm.
So your little you is sitting there, arms wrapped around their knee. You are acknowledging how they feel. Oh, I can really feel that in the chest area.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. I have found that the we will go through less, how does this want to come through? Um, the feelings that we dislike, we will go through them faster when we acknowledge them. Okay. So by
Okay.
acknowledging this emotion or feeling that your little you has, how does your little you feel about your inner dragon?
First kind of emotion I got was curious, like a little piqued interest.
Beautiful. Then allow them to gently touch hand to hand or nose to nose. whichever they feel most comfortable with, whatever one your little you feels most comfortable with, because your inner dragon is so there to assist. What's happening with that?
I see them kind of forehead to forehead, just resting
Mm,
gently, just kind of feeling it out.
I love that. So
Yes.
Emily, in those moments that
Hmm.
you are wondering the where, you've got the where now. It's that beautiful imagery you've got of that higher self, the garden, your inner dragon, your little you. And you will notice that there's a possibility your inner dragon changes color, the garden changes colors, whatever it is, it's okay. It doesn't have to be written in stone that it's any way. And that gives also the freedom to your little you to express themselves and show up in a different way as well, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Now, one thing further with that, you've got the where, so now it's the how. In the moments that you are feeling like I'm not very comfortable right now, invite that inner dragon in. Invite that inner dragon to be right there standing beside you. And even if you don't have the courage to do something in that moment, getting in the habit of recognizing that you have this part of yourself that is so there for you, boom. Okay?
Yes, that makes sense. Having that just pillar of support and being able to go forward from there. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for
Thank
playing.
you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Woo! I've only like, it's amazing how I stumbled through at the beginning, right? And then gave over to that energy to see what wanted to come through. That was very much about, like, again, I call upon all the different speakers and how each one of these things that we have come up in our awareness helps us to move forward in different ways. For myself, speaking in front of a crowd, it's very natural for me when I am naturally doing something I feel very comfortable doing. And you saw that, right? When I was stumbling through attempting to explain something that comes naturally to me, that was less than simple. And that can be a blow to your confidence, except that I knew too that underneath it, if one of you would say the right thing in the chat, it would change everything for me. And you witnessed that that is exactly what happened, right? So it's one small thing can make a huge difference in your life. And it's for me, when I was exploring life, period, it was learning how to love myself. When I started to say I am love and I love me and I love myself, man, oh man, it changed my world. It truly changed my world. We are so far past the necessity to start at that point. It's almost ridiculous. However, incorporating that piece into all that we're doing right now moves us faster. So know that you don't have to start at that I am love piece and love yourself. Just incorporate it into where you are now and incorporate the inner dragon energy. That inner dragon is the dominant one for a specific reason. It's going to help move you through this. Okay? Yeah. So in a nutshell, again, the what is your dominant inner dragon archetype? That is a very strong piece of yourself that is actively in your corner, walking you through life to get you to this point. And when you're ready for that next step, there is a leading archetype who takes everything that you've learned to get to this point. It takes that and helps you to move in a very specific direction. The leading archetype will change depending on the directions that you want to go. The dominant one, it really hones in on a very specific amount of you, a part of you that needed some big time assistance through this specific lifetime and possibly other lifetimes. Okay. Any other questions? That's fine if you have none. And if you do, you can always drop me a message. How are you guys feeling about your inner dragons? And hashtag takeaways. Hashtag takeaways. What's your takeaway today? Thank you for holding space for me. Yes, you can take the quiz. I think it's like anything. I mean, we can change our answers to anything. However, if you sit down and go, okay, how am I really right now? What is really pulling at me here right now with regards to these questions? It is more than likely that one very specific one will come up. That's how I'm going to answer the question about, can I take the quiz a bunch of times? Okay. So some of the takeaways I'm seeing here is there's a story in every chakra and archetype. Love that. A reminder to ask our little you, to ask the inner dragon questions. And my inner dragon is protecting the little me, my inner child. I also, the last one, or another one is I feel instantly grounded, calm, and present and aligned when I breathe as my inner dragon. Yes, because it's such a part of you. And that, Emily, is that key. If you can't remember to dive in, just remember, okay, I got to take 3 breaths. What are those 3 breaths? Breathe natural. Breathe as my inner child. Breathe as my inner dragon. Yeah. And you can feel the change in the energy as soon as you think even about breathing as your inner dragon, right? Yeah. So it's not like you got to remember the higher self, the garden. Da, 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 da. Right on. Okay, you guys, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks, Janice, for introducing me. You guys, we have one more guest speaker today. Thank you, everybody. I truly am so grateful that you're here. Thank you.